Do your homework, all that fun stuff. It's well worth the while. If you're a young kid out there now or a young person in school, do your homework. Get it done. It's easy. How hard is it really? But anyways, your friends will be there tomorrow. They'll be there later that night. Life lesson done. Next we are talking about music. I really liked the rock and roll, the Bob Segers, the Aerosmiths. Um, oh goodness, and I liked a lot of the other ones too. Like again, Air Supply is one of my favorites. Barry Manilow was a favorite of mine for years and years and years. Still is a favorite. I've seen him numerous times, even down here in Florida where I live now. Um, he's always a good show. It's always a good show. And also you've got people like I was never a Rolling Stones fan. I don't know why. It's nothing against any of them personally. I just it's their music never did anything for me. I don't know. It's like the Beatles. The Beatles, they were okay, but they didn't like rock the boat. I guess Ooh. But for those of you who are Beatles fans, far out, loving it. A friend of mine I found out I work with at this large corporation in Central Florida used to be a musician in a rock and roll band, and used to have long hair and live the life. It was a good life. He did well by it and he loved it, but he's not doing it anymore. Another friend of mine, he's in a band now, and they do a lot of cover work. Um, he's in 4 or 5 bands, I think. He's a great bass player, Dave. He's a great bass player. He's married to my best friend, Lisa. So, yeah, just a shout out to the both of them in case they're listening. If you got this, if you're listening to this, folks, and your name is Lisa and Dave, you better say something about it. Tell your friends. Anyways, on to other things that I like Chicago. They were a band that I saw many times, and they are just God, because I think part of it is the writing, which is phenomenal in my mind. It's just phenomenal. The writing is of their music is great. Peter Cetera was fantastic. Still is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. And I don't know the names of all the players, but I loved them. And something you're going to laugh at me about too, probably, folks, is I'm a Cher fan. Something about her voice singing a song just works for me. She's got a great artist's voice. I love it. Anyways, that's what that is. You know, back in the '70s when I was growing up in high school, and going to high school and getting out of college, getting out of high school, and not going to college right away. Everybody I knew, I can't say everybody. Most of the people I grew up with got out of high school and went to college. A lot of my close friends did. We had a community college in our town that a lot of them went to and then transferred out to, either Michigan State or University of Michigan or wherever they went. Surprised at the amount of people in my graduating class that went into service, became, in the military, into the Marines, Army, Navy, Air Force. I think even one went into the Coast Guard. Can't remember. But, I mean, that's back there. That's just when the Vietnam War had ended, folks. Both of my brothers were involved with the draft, but were never drafted. I guess it was a lottery system. And if your number came up, you went. If your number didn't come up, you were safe. And I guess you could get a deferment or a delay if you were in college, but it depended on the studies you were what you were studying, what your majors were. I don't know the whole story. All I know is the war ended and they did away with the draft the year I turned 17. So if you want to know how old I am, find out what year the draft was done away with. And like I like to say, if you don't know when the draft was ended, look it up. I know what year the draft was ended because I didn't have to go into it. I was very happy about that, folks. I think about it now, and as a life lesson, maybe I should have gone into the service. I look at the people that I know who did, and the lives, and they live in the persons or people that they become. The ones that I know who were in the service that I've worked with since, their sense of self, their sense of dedication and self-worth and caring and giving is phenomenal. Can't say enough about our service members. Thank you all for your service. But anyways, folks, let's get back to drugs, sex, and rock and roll. No, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Well, it's however that is. I can tell you this, folks. I wasn't into drugs. I was too much into beer. I enjoyed my beer. If people I knew were smoking pot, that was their business. If people I knew were doing drugs, that's their business. I like to drink beer. That's something my parents never had to worry about with me was I going to do drugs? Because drugs were big back in my area. I don't even know. I know LSD was one of them. I know I'm dating myself here, but that's the way it is. I'm of that age. So anyways, that's what we were talking about today. If there's something you want to talk to me about or want me to talk about as we go along, you can find it on my website. There is a tab or a button at the bottom of the page where you can leave me a voicemail. It goes to my email. I listen to it and then I can respond. So leave me your email number or your email address or how you would like me to contact you back, what you'd like to do. But if you want to hear me talk about something you want to talk about, leave me a note. I'd love to talk about it. I'd love to get you all involved. I do plan on going live with this show in a couple of weeks. I know I'd said earlier, maybe next week, but I'm thinking a couple of weeks. Let's get things going, see if there's an interest in live. Because live can be an interesting thing. I mean, it's got its ups, it's got its downs. You got to find the right time to do it. And if you're doing it every day, are people really going to look in? So I don't know. Maybe just start with putting these online on YouTube also. I can do that. I have that power. I have that capability. We did it with Tim and my podcast, Poetry of Christian Faith, and I could do it here. I think that'd be fun. Plus, I also like editing video. It's kind of fun. I enjoy editing video. I enjoy editing audio, which is why I really wish I'd gone into the music business or into the radio business when I was younger, too. The things you learn now that you should have known about then. So that's our show for today, folks. Thanks for listening in. Please, if you like this, tell a friend. Tell a couple of friends. Tell your friends to tell friends. Tell them that crazy guy with the gray hair who says it's going to be 5 minutes long. It usually takes 10 or 11. Is out there every day. He's podcasting. He wants your business. And you know what I'm selling? Free information. Life from a gray-haired guy. That's what this is all about. Anyways, folks, you have a blessed night, a blessed weekend. And we're going to talk again tomorrow on episode number 6. You all have a great night. And don't forget, look it up. Bye-bye.